and welcome to another episode of Two Girls in a Cap podcast. As always, I'm Sam.
And I'm Carolyn.
Today on episode 15, we're just talking. We're talking what's Carolyn working on, what's Sam working on, what we're reading, what we're watching, any other interest, our cats. We're just talking.
Just things.
Just talking. I like episodes like this because you don't have to have the pressure of... well, this is what happened on this episode, so we got to talk about this. Yeah. And oh shit, we missed that bit.
We've already had like a little pre-chat about catch up about what's been happening this week.
We always do this though. We always have a little catch up of what's going on, and then when it comes down to recording, we're like,
so then,
we've
already talked about that.
Yeah, this is second news now. No one else needs to hear this. So, what are you working on, Carolyn?
In the art world. In the artiste world. Portraits, got a couple of portraits to do and some comic stuff. Wolvie, hi Wolvie.
Hey.
Should be receiving her Deadpool Mohawk Storm thing.
That was such a good picture.
So that's winging its way to the United States. And can I just say how bad Royal Mail is when I went to put that into the post office?
You said it was a bit
Oh my god. It was like being just absolute idiots.
You were just wondering what the fuck was going on.
I was like, I just want to post it. I don't want to like dissect the meaning of life. I just want to post this thing. Can you just let me post it, please? So did that. And I'm obviously doing something else for Wolvie, which I do need to have a chat with her about, so that's something else. I hear a beep and that's my house alarm, which is just doing...
Yeah, no one's breaking in.
No one's actually breaking in. Portia's here, so we're okay.
Yeah, she protects us.
Yeah. And this book cover I'm working on for my friend Johnny Bud, which I'm waiting to hear back from Johnny about something on that, so... That's a bit of digital work.
If you're not following Carolyn on Instagram, you really should. She's nearly at the 1,000 mark.
Yeah, come follow me and make it a 1,000. Because I did say I was going to have a giveaway at 1,000.
I think you should re-announce that because you are so close.
Whoever realises it's at 1,000 and inboxes me first to the line will get some free artwork.
Can't be me then.
Well...
I've already got quite a few of your artwork. I don't think I need to take any more from you.
Yeah.
I have my Dory picture.
I did do Dory.
I've got my Dory picture, which is on my wall. But I've got a frame for that now.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
It's my trip to London where Sam was forever christened Dory.
Yes.
From Nemo.
And That's... I've got the Deadpool one.
Oh, yeah.
I've got that print sitting in a book so it doesn't get crumpled.
The bear one?
Yeah, I've got that one. I need a frame for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got them too.
Oh. So yeah, I'm doing that, and I've also got Rocket and Groot to finish off for my friend Darren.
That's so good.
So Groot is waiting to be finished off, and I will get around to doing that.
You've done quite a bit. Oh, and you're also doing your sketches. What's the Halloween one you're doing? Have you been keeping up with it?
Oh, Halloween. I totally dropped off this week.
Carolyn.
Shit, isn't it? I've really dropped off. I was conscious of that. And this afternoon I did actually sit down just before you came over. I was sitting doing, just faffing on watercolours. I'm kind of feeling the watercolour thing. I was having a chat with Ray Paez the other day, and he's doing a whole load of Topps Traders cards for Rogue One Star Wars. So if you're not following Ray on Instagram, you really should go follow him.
Ray's link is in the description below on every podcast because Ray did our artwork.
He did, and he's uber talented. So go follow him.
I got a lot of his artwork as well.
Yes. So he was saying how he's really gotten back into watercolours.
Oh, brilliant.
We had like a total nerdy art conversation.
Only the kind of conversation you two could have.
It pains me. Like, we're the only two people in the whole world who can totally nerd out over a set of pencils. I know that you find it absolutely amusing.
It's the way you go. It's like sitting at home watching something, and then Carolyn sends a text message of a picture of pencils.
And I'm like, oh my god, I love these.
What am I supposed to say? Nice pencils.
Yeah.
Great pencils.
Those are
Love those pencils.
Those are some good looking pencils.
I wish I were those pencils.
I wish I were those pencils.
No. Anything else? Anything else you're working on? Anything else you want to do?
I really want to do Comic-Con next year.
I really want to get you into some conventions. That's my aim, is to get Carolyn into some conventions.
It's my goal to get into some Comic-Cons.
Only because I will be booth babe and be her little laggy. You know, whatever the artist wants, the artist gets.
You can bag. Oh, can I have like a rider, like all blue M&Ms?
You can go and fuck off.
Like, I will only eat blue M&Ms. You can divide them by the bag. Right, over there.
You can go fuck right off.
I'll drink Evian water. Chilled to
Evian.
the temperature
Jesus Christ.
With 3 ice cubes in my glass.
Only 3.
Only 3. They must measure equal sides of 3 centimetres each side.
Piss off.
So there you go.
You can have that, the cube one, the game dice one we got, the silver, you can have that.
Tell you what I really want.
Like it.
I want those Han Solo in carbonite ice cube trays, and I really wish we'd bought some at Star Wars Celebration.
There's a lot of things I wish I bought at Star Wars Celebration, and the one that will always haunt us is the Rogue One t-shirt. I don't know how many times I've banged on about this.
I know,
but I really wish
I bought one.
At Star Wars Celebration, you had like official merchandise, and we got quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was happy with what I got, but when I realised how much I'd spent wasn't what I thought, I was like, oh, I could have gotten this Rogue One, and it was literally just a black t-shirt with Rogue One on it, and it had the Star Wars Celebration at the top.
That was it.
That was it. But I will kick myself forever that I didn't get that t-shirt. I will. And I think we even went back and the queue was ridiculous.
See, now you understand why I buy like
everything.
Yeah. Because then I'll regret. Je regrette
the decision. We got the Funkos, the Celebration Funkos. I just got the Han Solo one. Carolyn got all 4.
Had to get them?
Had to.
And now I don't have any regrets in life.
Except for me.
Apart from.
Except that I didn't get. And that book. I wish I got that book. It was. All I remember it was, I think it was something like Bloodline or something. And it was a red book and you got a poster with it as well. Yeah. I really wish I got that. See? La regret.
Je regrette.
I do not regret quite a lot from that day because that weekend was awesome, and that convention, for being one of the first big ones I did, I loved it. I'd do it all over again.
Where is the next Star Wars Celebration?
I don't know.
Europe.
When can I take this off, by the way?
Sam's actually just to fill you all in, is that Sam is actually wearing a, like, you know those strips that you put across your nose? Strip. It's a paw strip. Mm-hmm. I bought some the other day and I texted Sam a picture of myself wearing said paw strip. And I was like, this is like how I roll on a Friday night.
I've been meaning to pick some up, and I want the black one. Have you seen the black one?
You get
where you like layer it on and then it stiffens and then I want that.
Yeah. Well, you can. Is it hard on your face now?
Yeah, like it is. I feel like I've had my nose operated on over again.
Maybe you should like lift it from both sides slowly.
Is it this, like this?
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear it? Oh my god. Oh.
Do it.
I'm doing it.
Is it vile? I love stuff like that.
Oh shit! It feels like it's taking my whole face off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's really good.
Can you feel it? No.
I can feel it.
Can you hear it? Oh. Oh, that's
is that amazing?
Oh.
Is it disgusting? Sure is.
It's not that bad. I know, well, it is that bad. Oh, I need to have a look.
Oh, yummy.
Nice. I feel like I've had my nose operated on all over again.
Do you? This is what happens. It's this on a Saturday night, or like weird TV shows that we like to watch.
Weird TV shows, like, oh Christ. It feels like when I first got my bandage taken off and I was able to clean my nose properly because my bandage covered my whole face.
Yeah.
Last year I got my nose operated on. About this time last year.
Yeah. And
I get a big massive bandage right across my face, and when I got to take it off and clean my nose for the first time, that's what it feels like. I should stop touching my nose because it defeats the point of cleaning my nose.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh,
You need to invest in those.
I do. Do you know what? I've been meaning to pick some up, and every time I go to because whenever I go to B&M, because it's so
B&M's,
cheap.
B&M's like, it's like Target in America.
It is so cheap. Like, it's brand stuff, but like at ridiculously cheap prices. And I get all my face wash and all my cleaning products from there. Because like you can go to Asda and buy for example, me Flash Febreze spray.
Mm-hmm.
That is £2.30, and I know it's only £2.30, but I'm paying 87 pence in B&M. So, you know what I mean? And I keep meaning, because Wilkinson's is right next door, and I keep meaning to go and pick some up, and I always forget. And I want the charcoaly stuff.
Well, yeah, you need to go invest in that. But
back to weird TV.
Weird TV. So TV shows that we like. We did touch on this on the last.
We did.
Podcast.
We watched. Whenever when me and Carolyn, because as much as we've known each other 20 years,
yes,
it's only been the last year
that we've really been back in touch.
Yes.
So.
And we started our Saturday nights off with pizza and Weirdos, and it was a pizza and weirdo night, and it was watching My 600 Pound Life while eating pizza, which is very disturbing. We know this.
It was like, why does that happen?
When we're stuffing ourselves with Dominoes.
As we lifted another slice of Dominoes pizza.
How do people get this size? I just don't understand it. We keep fucking eating Dominoes.
Do you want some more of that?
Have we got any doorballs?
Do you want the last one?
So that's how it started.
I'm only at £598, so you can have the last one.
We started watching that, and then we found it's probably my favourite one is My Strange Addiction. I love
My Strange Addiction is just full of the type of people in this world who they need help, like a legitimate help. Why would you eat a deodorant stick, for example? Why would you
eat paint? Why would you eat chalk? Why would you eat mattress foam? Why would you eat...
What happens where you kind of just sitting one day, like...
I wonder...
Like we are now, for example.
I wonder if that candle in front of us, I wonder what it tastes like.
And then, not only what does it taste like, I'm wondering why it's so dusty right now, but I'm also wondering why I can't stop eating that candle and other candles like it, and why I would then develop a preference for certain ones, maybe a Yankee candle, for example. Oh, maybe only at Christmas.
That's some expensive That's
an expensive taste. Like, what's that all about?
There's some people in there who seriously need help, but for some reason, just can't stop watching them.
Yeah.
Cannot stop watching them. There was one. The ones we watched last week was a woman who was addicted to psychics. She just needed a friend.
Like those phone-up psychic lines where you have to spend $20 a phone call.
She had money. She had a lot of money. And she was just... Every decision in her life had to be run past a psychic.
What was it? She went on a date with somebody and she told him what she did, and absolutely no surprise, he was just like, yeah, see you later.
The guy who...
I'm busy now.
The guy who loved grannies.
Oh my God, I was just talking about this afternoon. How did it come up in conversation? Maybe I can't really reveal how it came. We were talking about somebody,
right,
who somebody knows,
right,
and there's somebody who's got a significantly younger third wife.
Oh, right.
Gentleman, very nice, I'm sure. And we were trying to work out, is it worse when the woman is so much older, or is it acceptable when the woman is a lot younger and that's okay?
Here's my thing. I don't mind age difference. Really
No,
don't. I'm older than Anth, and you're the house older than you.
Yeah.
I don't mind age difference, but when there is a gap where you think to yourself, what in the fuck do they talk about on a night time?
Well,
where is the common ground?
When you go somewhere and someone says, would you and your mother like a table?
Or your grandmother.
Or your grandmother, more to the point. I feel that you've ventured into the realm of take a look at yourself.
Yeah.
Have a word.
Have a word.
Just think, just think very carefully here, because
You've clearly got some mummy issues or granny issues, but this guy was obsessed with older women, and he actually said a 60-year-old was too young for him.
Yeah, he had like a whole host. He was proper player, wasn't he though?
How old was his oldest? How old was he?
91.
91. What can you do with a 91-year-old?
They were on like a park bench, like full on
getting it on.
There was tongues everywhere.
Like,
it was like watching Alien.
My life is each to their own. It really is. You know, you go and be you, but do you have to go and be you like that?
No, I don't want to watch that.
No, but we did, and we watched a full 45 minutes of it. What else was there? We watched the guy and the woman who was addicted to eating.
And the ones who wear the masks, the doll masks, and dress up as dolls.
That was probably more funny than anything else to watch Your Other Half's reaction. That was hilarious. The whole program itself, it could have just went over my head, but to watch his reaction, that was the best part.
He was like, one hand over his eyes. He's like, I just can't.
It was like I'm scared of dolls. I have been since when I watched Dolly Dearest. I don't get scared of horror films, but Dolly Dearest as a kid scared the bejesus out of us. And since then, dolls freaked me the fuck out. And it's like my actual nightmare coming to life, because these people would dress like. If you want to go and dress like a woman, go and be a drag queen. Why do you have to put the plastic looking like a friggin' sex doll look on your face? Why?
It's like, I don't want to be a woman. Fine. I don't want to be.
No, neither do drag queens.
I don't want to be a man doing this. I don't want to look like a man doing it. What I do want to look like is a sex doll, and I want to go out and have people look at me and ask why I'm so strange and why I look this way. It's attention.
It is.
It's completely attention.
But why don't you just go and do drag? The drag queens don't want to be women. Some of them do end up turn out they want to be women later on, but they do it for entertainment purposes. You clearly want to do that to either entertain yourself or entertain somebody else. Then why not go out and do it as be a drag queen?
Are these the men who are too frightened to do that because maybe they've already tried the whole makeup and wig thing and they just think, no, I look like a bloke.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. It's kind of ironic. Like, they want to look not like themselves at all.
I get it. I do. And I am all about go and be you. You know, nobody should be able to tell you how to
live.
Exactly. But it really freaked us out. Like, there's certain things in this life that really get me skin funny. And that was one of them. And we went on the website. We went on a website that was direct with a convention that they have, and I found Carolyn's Christmas present.
Oh, I sent a picture from that website to our friend Paul. I don't know if Paul actually listens to this.
Probably not.
Podcast.
Probably not.
Paul's an interesting person to be friends with. Is. Very funny. But absolutely, if he does not like you, he will tell you in no uncertain terms to your face.
He is funny.
I did send him a picture and say, look what me and Sam were looking at on Saturday night. Forgot to tell you about this. And he replied to tell me that one of the actual dolls resembles somebody who now is dating my ex-boyfriend, which kind of made me laugh. Because then when I looked at it again, I thought, yeah, that's actually a pretty good shout.
But there was a woman as well who was addicted to eating air fresheners, air fresheners. Yeah. And she just... these people go to doctors, and these doctors are telling them...
I just liked how she was in bed with our other half. And then it was like... like with that moment before you go, I'm really tired... That bell, by the way, is Portia having a scratch, and that's the bell on her collar ringing there. She kind of went to turn the light off to say, like, really tired, going to turn this light off. And then just had a quick squirt in her mouth before she went to bed.
Night, honey. It was ridiculous.
He would then wake up in the night and find her having a sly squirt of the deodorant to herself.
It was air freshener. It was spray air freshener. Now, isn't that solvent abuse?
Yes.
So you are constantly high You've got to be.
Well, she has to be bloody using this stuff in the first
She
place.
went to a doctor, and this doctor actually physically got upset
He started crying, didn't he?
Because she couldn't see the harm she was doing to herself. She is putting a chemical that is put out there to disperse bloody rotten smells
She wants that.
in her system. What is wrong with these people? Like the woman who ate paint.
Yeah.
Drank paint. She had it in dispensers that she would just sit in.
Like tester pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just do a shot of paint.
We're like £1.50 in B&Q. I got one the night.
She would go to the likes of B&Q and she would actually test the paint on her tongue.
Yeah.
But there's no words. There's absolutely no words. And she went to a doctor and the doctor said the same thing. You're going to kill yourself. And she was like, well, I enjoy this. Do you enjoy living? Do you enjoy breathing? Want to see your kids? Want to see them grow up? Well, then stop eating fucking paint.
It wasn't one of them said, I will stop when my children
have a problem
with it. It's like, they probably already do. It's just...
You're probably too afraid of you to actually... Because, let's be honest, you're eating paint. I'd be afraid of you too.
I'd be kind of like...
Fuck you.
Wow.
Me.
Well, anyway, that's that.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, what are you working on at the minute? What's your whole...
I'm working on a big piece, actually. I've just wrote an article on Neymar, King of the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was titled something like Forget Aquaman, Neymar is King of the Sea. Because he is he's not Marvel's answer to Aquaman because he came first.
Everyone.
So, there you go. But it was really interesting because he is a character who I've seen, and he just come across as an arsehole, and I was like, oh, I've got no time for this. Mm-hmm. And then when I started reading about him, you can understand why he's not an arsehole. He's one of the first anti-heroes. He was part of Marvel's golden age of comics. He was actually there was 3 main characters when Timely, which was before Marvel started. Captain America, the original, what do you call him from Fantastic Four? Christ, you know who I mean. Johnny Storm, the original him.
Yeah.
And before he became Johnny Storm. Mm-hmm. And Neymar. He was up there, like he was one of the top characters. He is in Marvel issue number 1. Called Marvel Comics issue 1.
Yeah.
And that's when Marvel became Marvel and wasn't Timely anymore. It was just a really interesting thing to get into, but now I've decided, because one of my favourite writers of all time he's retired. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do a full piece on Alan Moore, and his work is, it's huge. Mm-hmm. And you know him. Mm-hmm. He wrote Watchmen. Mm-hmm. He wrote From Hell. Mm-hmm. V for Vendetta. Mm-hmm. Killing Joke. Mm-hmm. Swamp Thing. I can go on and on and on. He is an absolute marvel at what he does. He's just so interesting. But he wrote this one, and I read it the other day, and Ant's always told us about it, and it's called The Lost Girls. And he says it is fucked up. It's not with it's not with DC, Vertigo, mm-hmm. or Marvel. It's like one publication, mm-hmm. and it is really fucked up. So it is Alice from Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. It is Wendy from Peter Pan, and it is Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
I'm down with this because Wizard of Oz and Disney. I need to read it.
Just wait until I'm finished, because you might change your mind.
Why?
Well, Alice is a dirty lesbian who, when I say dirty lesbian, I mean she is kinky as fuck, who's getting it on with Dorothy, who then gets it on with Wendy.
What?
Oh yeah, she's an old lady. She likes the women. Also, they all have a backstory, and it is completely fucked up. So, Wendy got molested by Peter Pan.
What?
Alice was...
I don't want to read this.
See, that's what I mean. And Dorothy...
I just want to watch Disney things.
Exactly. So, it's a completely fucked up look at it, but it was such a... by the end of it...
Why would you write this?
Because he's into magic, he's into sex magic, he's just, if you read his work, it speaks to who he is. Mm. and he is a genius at what he does. I can't wait. It's going to be a hard one because I feel like I can't just half-ass this one. I have a set, when I write an article, I have a set of, so intro on who I'm doing, for the first publications, a bit about them, any recommendations, how I feel about it. I have that set, and with Alan Moore, I don't think I can do that because there is so much to cram in that I might even do it in parts.
I was going to say, do it in like maybe 2 parts or 3 parts.
I might, because I want to read. I've read V for Vendetta, which was just incredible, and I'm wanting to read From Hell. So that would be what are you doing?
I'm just chasing her.
Karen's chasing Porsche. So I want to read From Hell before I start, and I've got it there to read. Because that's...
I've got From Hell.
What, the book?
The book.
Have you really?
Do you want to borrow it?
Yeah, actually, because I've got it on my computer, so that'd be cool. So yeah, that's what I want to... I want to read a little bit more than... Because I have read Watchmen. I've read the first bit about 1 million times, and for some reason I just can't get
into it.
It wasn't when I started reading comics. It was the first one that was probably one of the first ones that was put in front of us to say, read this. You got to read Watch. You have to read Watchmen. It changed everything, and it wasn't what I was. I wasn't quite ready, so I will eventually read it. But yeah, I'm just working on Alan Moore at the moment, which is what That's it.
The big thing.
It's a big one, and that's it. I don't have a plan. I should have a plan. I've got 2 weeks off, so I should have a bit more structure.
I need to start inviting Christmas commissions in because I haven't done that yet. It's now beginning of October, so I need to tell people because I need to kind of get on it.
And I want to do something different. I want to write something different. I don't know what though.
You need to write your own.
My sister's my own comic. Oh, that'd be hard. I'm not a short story kind of person. I would love to. I would love to just sit there and be able to just spill out.
Should do like a chapter thing where you release a chapter every month or something.
Stephen King did that. Green Mile was written
in parts,
and it was released in a paper.
I remember buying the books in small.
Posh is good.
All up the sleeve of my coat. Get out! You're a nuisance.
Bless her. Yeah, it was written in parts and put into a paper.
Yeah.
And then it was released. Yeah. I think I've got the full edition, not the in part bit. Yeah.
But we were just talking earlier about other things on TV that we like to watch is documentaries.
Big fan of it.
Ones that we've watched recently.
Oh, there's a few. We've had I think that's all that me and Anth have watched together as documentaries.
I mean, both of us have now watched Amanda Knox on Netflix, haven't we?
Still not clear. Still, Anth doesn't think she did it. He thinks it was a media circus that just spiraled out of control.
Well, this is it, because it's kind of like, before you watch Amanda Knox, people have got I think generally people have got this sort of like opinion where they're like, we think she did it. She's gotten off with it twice. The media kind of got too involved, and it totally messed up the evidence. And I think that is one of the opinions. The other opinion is that you watch it and you just think she's completely misunderstood and she's been tied into something where she shouldn't have, because the Italian police and the authorities over there didn't know who had done it, and they just kind of pinned it on the fact that they were all... It was like circumstantial evidence.
It's a common thing in the documentaries that I watch that it is a case of law enforcement are just trying to get a person. They don't care who it is. Paradise Lost is the same thing. Making a murderer, even A Thin Blue Line, it is all a case of authorities trying to get a person straight away. So that's it. Done, dust, case done.
Yeah.
For her, I don't know. There is something about that girl that makes me think you know more than what you're letting on. And I just don't know. There's something about her. She's smarmy. She's cocky.
Do you know what she is, though? And I don't mean this to sound disparaging to anybody who is American, but she is stereotypically American.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of like, for anybody who is listening to this and is from America, may or may not appreciate what I'm about to say, but if you're British or you're from, I don't care, wherever else, as long as it's not from America, but everybody outside of the United States has this opinion on Americans being loud and brash,
Mm-hmm.
cocky,
Yeah.
overly confident about everything,
Yeah.
and just having, no, I don't want to say that they think they're of low intelligence, but they kind of almost think that, I think British people think this, they think that Americans are not as intelligent and are not as refined as what British people are, which is not my opinion, I'll say. Absolutely, it's not.
And I have heard that, and I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think she is, and I don't know if because of where she's come from and the type of family that she's had, her environment, but she doesn't. I think she's just been very immature.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the documentary and she does those home videos about like how she's really excited to go to Europe and she's going to live in Italy and she's going to this, that, and the other. She's very much just like, she's going there to have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
She's not going there to actually learn anything and to do anything, which she wouldn't be if you were going
at that age.
That age.
You wouldn't.
And I think she's just got no real grasp on reality.
No.
It happened. The girl. I think everyone who maybe just knows a little bit about what happened to Meredith Kircher, who was the girl who was murdered.
And people need to remember her name.
Yeah.
That's one thing that people need to remember.
That gets lost. Someone lost their life.
A mother lost her child.
And no one knows who did it.
A sister lost her sister. Everybody forgets about this poor girl who was taken for absolutely no reason because they are so drowned up in Foxy Noxy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what annoyed us more than anything. Where do you think you're going?
This is Portia having a daft half hour as we
You think you're going to climb up my back? She's just gone.
It does get lost off in that.
I think that's the main point of that.
When she's obviously found dead, and there's that telephone call with her and a friend back in America, and it's like talking about, things have been a bit kind of rough this week, and she kind of plays it all down.
It's so blasé to her.
But she lived in the same house as somebody who she'd known vaguely for 6 weeks. Yes, the murder's happened in your house, and yes, I think if it was me, I would be a lot more like, oh my God, I can't believe what's happened. It's really, really worrying. I'm a bit frightened as to where,
I would be terrified. I would be absolutely terrified. I'd probably want to go home.
But I don't know.
That would be my first reaction.
But I don't know whether or not she's just kind of been tied up in the lifestyle. I mean, who's to know? She's probably been smoking weed and all sorts.
She was.
She's completely playing it all down. And she met this boyfriend, the one who, when it all came out, you assume they've been together for a long time. They've been together for 1 week. Mm-hmm. 1 week?
Yeah, and they were completely infatuated with each other.
Yeah.
I went in with that thinking, I'm gonna really get to see what this person's about. And I came out more confused than I was when I came in.
Exactly what everybody said.
She sits there and cries, but it looks like crocodile tears, like she's forcing to do it because that's what she thinks people have got to see from her, that she is upset about this.
But at the end of the documentary, she smiles.
Yeah.
And it's like, did I do it or did I not? But Portia's just going mental. She doesn't like talking about Amanda Knox. Yeah, I mean, like our friend Paul said the other day, he started watching the first 10 to 15 minutes.
All right.
And he's like, I already know she did it. And I said, just wait until the end.
Yeah. And
then he watched it all, sent me another message and said, actually, I don't know if she did do it or not. But let's face it, any representation, be it on, TV documentary, movie, newspaper article, whatever, whoever's directing that and writing that information can make it sound.
Portia's probably
What are you doing my head in?
Portia's scratching at a cabinet that has a mirror in the back. I think she's like, "Who are you?"
It's another kitten.
There's another cat.
It's just you in the mirror, you silly thing. I think they can make it look like however they want it to.
Of course,
look
but that's editing, isn't it? But there's not just that one. What else have we watched that both of us have seen? Did you watched West Memphis? Didn't you?
Yes.
West of Memphis. That is a documentary that is really close to us because I've been following it since the 90s. And it wasn't until I think my sister pointed out that they did this documentary, and it wasn't West of Memphis. That's Amy Berg's, and it's a really good look at how they got them out. But Paradise Lost is where it started from, and it's all about the West Memphis Three: Damien Eccles, Jason Baldwin, and Jesse Miss Kelly. And these three boys have been accused of murdering another group, group of boys.
Three little boys.
That's what I'm trying to say. And the reasoning behind it was satanic rituals.
And they were listening to
heavy metal. It could have been any kid.
Yeah.
If what they were, and it was the trial was horrendous. I don't know how they felt they were going to get away with it. The Paradise Lost starts with these documentary filmmakers like, oh my god, these boys have been arrested and charged, and they're looking at death row for murdering 3 boys because they're into satanic rituals. That is something. And they only went there to get that part of the story out. It wasn't until it aired and they put everything together, they were like, hold on a minute.
This isn't
Something's not right here. And not just they, everybody else saw it. And it sparked this frenzy of people going, this is wrong, there needs to be a retrial. They never got it, never got the retrial. So you got Paradise 1 is the beginning part, and it takes you up to where Jesse and Jason get life. Damien gets a death penalty because they said Damien was the ringleader.
Yeah.
And then you've got Paradise Lost 2, which goes into Damien getting a bit older. Then Paradise Lost 3 is when they finally go through the plea to be released, which is bullshit. Because at the beginning, all the families are all, yeah, they did it, they got the right people, and then by the end of it,
like we all know,
they were like, no, they didn't do it. And personally, I think one of the stepfathers had something to do with it, not Mark Byers.
Yeah.
The other one, Terry Hobbs, I think if he didn't, he knows. I think he did it.
I think he did it.
I really do think he did it. There's just too much there. But he won't be ever investigated because the state of Arkansas just want to brush this away. And the way that they did that is the boys went into a plea deal to say that they are innocent, but will say they are guilty, but can still say they are innocent, and they can walk out of jail that day. But all 3 of them had to agree to it. And Jason Baldwin didn't want to, because that would mean that he is admitting that he did something that he didn't do.
Fair enough.
And it wasn't until the realization kicked in, if they don't do this, before they even go to retrial, because they were going to get a retrial, that was a given. But the state stopped that retrial because of the amount of money that they could get out of this. And if that will go into making a murderer, that would link nicely into making a murderer, because he got a very large amount of money off the state. And then what happens?
Times 3.
Exactly. Then what happens? He gets accused of murder, that money's taken away from him. It is all about money. So the state put this plea into place that they can walk free, but all 3 had to take it. Jason said no. And then when he thought about it, he went, between now and the retrial, could they bring Damien's date forward? They could murder him. They could kill him, and that would be it. He would have lost a friend, and he has the power now to save him, and that's why he did it. That's why he did it for. He saved his friend's life. I get choked up about it because I've been following it since the 98. It was the first time I heard about it.
Yeah.
And then all these documentaries came out, and everyone got to see what piss poor police work, and how did the experts that got in there had degrees you can buy off of the computer.
Well, it's like the Amanda Knox documentary. There is no trace of any DNA linking those 2 to her. Other than they found, was it her fingerprints on the knife, the kitchen knife? Of course you're going to find it. She lived
in
the
house.
same house as her.
Well,
so
they didn't find any DNA to walk for the 3 boys. They said they found a knife, which was amazing because what had happened was the knife was found behind Jason's house, which is kind of swampland, and the police had rang the press when they got there and said, get down here, we've got a discovery. 30 minutes later, they found the knife. Fucking coincidence, isn't it? They then tried to say in trial that knife caused the marks that were on the boy's body, which looked like they'd been dragging the knife on them.
Yeah.
When if you look at further, it looks like bite marks. It looks like claw marks.
They've been in
they
the
were
woods.
in the woods. They were in swampy water. Snapping turtles are there. They just couldn't put 2 and 2 together. These men were so... they know the shit out of us. So Paradise Lost showed you more about the boys. West of Memphis showed you how they got them out. The support team they had. Peter Jackson, the director of Lord of the Rings, wrote an open letter to Damien's wife and said, I don't like bullies and I don't like people being intimidated and I really want to help. And he offered his money, he offered his time, him and his wife put a lot into their campaign. Johnny Depp's name gets put in there and all he really did was motivational speak, and he went to rallies and he spoke, and it was only a handful of times. It was Peter Jackson.
He got involved.
He did. Oh yeah. Oh, I heard definitely he used his name for a good cause, but him from Pearl Jam. I can't remember his name. He's got a beautiful voice. Him from Pearl Jam, and Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins still to this day, he's a motivational speaker, and he still brings up Damien, and he still brings up the injustice of not just Damien but other people. He's a very good motivational speaker, and Natalie Main from the Dixie Chicks, and it was just that Amy Berg is amazing at documentaries. So she did West of Memphis. She did the ones that I told you about, the Catholic priest one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I need to watch these.
on Netflix.
Oh, God.
That, just go into it. I've told you that you're not going to have a shock like I had to walk away. There was a few, that and Open Secret, I had to stop. I just had to stop watching because it was just too much.
Too disturbing.
It was too much. So I had to stop for a minute, just gather my thoughts and then go back again. Amy's really good at laying things out. Really good. And so you can understand it. It's not just all like, fact. Yeah. She's a really good job. I recommend watching her documentaries.
Yeah. And the other one that we were just talking about earlier, and I've started watching it and haven't finished it, is Louis Theroux's My Scientology movie, which you've watched the HBO.
I've watched the HBO one, which I probably would watch again because it is a very confusing subject to get into. So, because it showed you the beginning part of Scientology, the spirituality part of it, and then moved into Tom Crazy Cruise land. But it's a lot to take in. And I had my sister over at the time, and we were chatting in between it. So I would like to watch it again, where I can just sit and pay attention to it.
I mean, generally, if nobody has ever watched any of Louis Theroux's documentaries, they are brilliant. He's so deadpan funny.
Yeah.
And he inquires about things directly with the subject in such a way that, because he's so posh and British, that he's endearing to probably 80% of the people who he speaks to, and they don't take offence by it, at least not immediately. But the way that he puts things, because we're British, we know exactly what he's doing. We can see where he's going with it, because we kind of know like how things sound.
We've seen that humour progress from our television into how he's really good at talking to people on a level that us as Brits can see the funny side of it.
He never rises.
No, never.
Actually, maybe once you see him do it, but he never rises to the bait where it's like there is a part in My Scientology movie where he goes down this road, and the Scientologists who must be in management or something, they follow him and say,
Right.
see there it says road closed, you can't go down that road, because it was going to take them to this area which was all barbed wire and all cameras and floodlights in a Scientology residential area.
Right.
And they said, the road's closed, you can't go down there. And he says, well, I've got the map here, and this is a public road.
Yeah.
And they then say, well, no, it's not. It says road closed. And he says, well, no, it's a public road. I've got a map. And she's getting more and more and more angry. His voice and his demeanour never changes. You just see her getting increasingly more irate, and she absolutely spits a dummy out and just like wanders off, gets in the car, slams the door and calls the police on him. So I think he thinks, well, just to diffuse the situation, I don't really want to get involved in the police and into an altercation here, because another guy is filming him as he is filming them.
Right.
So he knocks on the window really calmly and he's like, we're just going to go now. He's so British and so polite about it. Aww. And I think that must have really pissed her off, because he's so nice about it.
Well, I watched Justin when he did about the Louis is
not Justin Theroux.
Justin Theroux is Jennifer Aniston's husband, who is his cousin. Louis Theroux, I watched him do the Westboro Baptist Church, who I, for some reason, for a family who I cannot bide, I have watched a lot of stuff on them.
Yeah.
You just cannot believe some of the shit that comes out of the mouth.
Yeah.
But Justin went to visit them.
Louis
went to visit them for a week.
Justin was never there.
Never. Wish he was. He went to visit them, and he was, the way he handled them, because the vile that comes out of their mouth is disgusting, but he just did it with grace and that British dignity. Like he was brilliant about it. And then I watched Keith Allen do exactly the same with the same family, yet Keith went for them.
Yeah.
The tactics
that
they use,
that's what they want.
They are looking for a fight. You cannot argue with crazy. You cannot. You can't argue with people like that, because you will never win.
Because there's no logic.
They will never see anything other than what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Keith went in there with a fight. Louis went in there with just wanting to know what they do. He didn't. He may have questioned little bits, but he didn't attack them. Keith did. He knew information about the mum that would. It was the fact that she had a son out of wedlock. That's against everything that they believe in.
Yeah.
And he went in there to attack. That's what his attack was. They just tore him down straight away. He saw signs about Lily Allen. Lily Allen loves fags, and you know the Westboro Baptist spiel. And he got mighty upset over that. He went in there to attack them, whereas he just his tactics and the way he did it, it showed you for what they really were. That was the best part about it. He went out there when they were picketing, and one of the kids got hit with a drink at full force. I think it was like a slushy or something. Imagine that on the back of your head. That's gonna hurt.
That was Louis.
Yeah, that was Louis.
Yeah.
That was Louis when Louis was there, and he just calmly just went over to them and went, "You do know your child's just being
put your
hurt.
child at risk."
And they were like, "Well, they know what they're getting into." No, they don't, because you're putting this bullshit in their heads at an early age. Jesus, the Westboro, I could go on about them motherfuckers for days. I'm not gonna bore you with the Westboro Baptist Church, because they really don't need any more attention than what they've probably already got.
Yeah. Oh no, they're horrific. Absolutely disgusting.
They're not allowed in England. That's for fucking sure.
Well,
Jeremy Kyle tried to do the same thing. You can't have a conversation with these people because you can't talk on their level.
Well, let's face it. It's like many an idiot.
Yeah.
You can never reason with people who cannot see logic.
Not at all.
Not that I'm saying that everything that I say is completely... I mean, everyone's got their own opinions on things, which I completely accept.
You
However,
can accept someone's opinion, but when it's...
when you ram it down someone's throat,
Yeah.
that's when it's kind of like, you need
and
to stop.
you are publicly putting yourself in a position of, and it is pure hate, then that's not... Like, they protested Matthew Shepard's funeral.
Yeah.
They wanted to protest. They've protested many a funerals, many a soldiers who, you know, these men... They put themselves in a position that they know that could be the end result, and they do it. I mean, I've got the utmost respect for
they risk
anyone
their
in
lives
the
for
army.
everybody.
Exactly.
So,
You have to have, even if you don't agree with war, you have to have a respect for what they do, because you're not going out and fucking doing it. These people would go and picket their funerals, and a lot of newscasters, Fox News, who I kind of bide, they were very clever and said, if you do not picket this fence, we'll give you 15 minutes airtime. If you do not picket this fence, if you do not picket this funeral, we will give you 15 minutes airtime. That was how they got them off the street.
right.
It was the only way, because they were these parents do not need to see that.
No.
But because of what they were doing when they were picketing these funerals, there was a Hell's Angels. They would come out peacefully, I might add, with white robes on, and they would open their arms out. These robes would be wide, and it just blocks them out, and they would just hum.
Yeah.
They would just hum in unison to drown the sound out, so these people could have a funeral for their son or daughter. It's amazing what can come out of hate, because it's incredible to watch.
Humans are amazing sometimes.
It is.
Actually, what was quite sweet, something that I noticed on Facebook, which I don't really use that much, to be honest with you. I kind of just, it's voyeuristic for me.
I've only got it
read
on the website.
other things. But there was a little girl in, I think she's from Minneapolis, and she wants to be an artist. She's 12.
Right.
And she really wanted some Copic markers, which, if anyone who's listening to this who does art may know, they are mega expensive.
Oh, right.
I think you get something like 72 in a pack.
Right.
And
they want to draw for themselves if they're really that expensive.
That will set you back about 250 quid.
Yeah, they want to draw for themselves.
Which is about $350. So our mum says to her, well, if you want those, why don't you draw things and sell them for donations?
Right.
Because obviously teaching the value of money and earning things for yourselves and appreciating what you have. So she gets all these donations in for illustrations that she's done. And somebody who sees it obviously just thinks this is lovely and donates a whole set of them to her without, obviously. So she goes and videos her going to pick her up from school, I think it is, and she's got the box in the back of the car, and she says, oh, do you want to open the box?
Oh.
And she sees them, and she's so moved. Like, she's the kid's like on the floor, like really crying with happiness. And it's gone viral. I wrote something on, and my mother replied to me. It was so nice. Like, I just said, this is like so lovely to see. Like, bless her. I would like to send her something, actually, like from Britain, like something like
from one artist to another.
Like something British art-wise that you cannot get in America, which I just think would be something just to like kind of inspire, because I just think if you're like that passionate about something, and you should just grab it with both hands, shouldn't you, really? And
you should, and to know that other people are out there encouraging you. It just motivates you even more to go out and do it.
Because do what you love, you know.
There needs to be more creativity.
Of course there is.
I wish
Speaking of which, I want to go create some turkey burgers in a moment for our
tea
meal.
Tea time. So we're wrapping that. What we're doing next, because we need to have a talk.
Walking Dead is approaching.
That's what I mean. So Walking Dead's coming up, and American Horror Stories. So we need to sort of schedule out of what's coming first. We need to sort of schedule out anyway, because we need to be a bit more prepared, so at the end of a podcast we don't go, what we're going to do next
week. Well, Walking Dead comes out 24th of October, and next week is going to be the 14th, 15th, 16th.
Yeah.
15th of October, which is the week before.
Right.
And the week after that will be a third episode of American Horror, which we will have to review because we're doing them in threes.
We're doing them in threes.
So,
Walking Dead next week.
Walking Dead next week is my thinking.
Yeah.
Just on pure maths.
Excellent, because
So
I
we
can't
can
wait
do
to get
that.
into this.
Get the first episode out of the way, and then we can just take it from there.
Yeah, on how we're going to do it, because
yeah.
I want to stay with this one, because
Yeah.
this is probably more than Game of Thrones to me. Probably
Walking
more.
Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a bit. I don't know. I'm torn.
Because of how the last one finished, I think Walking Dead is the one that everybody is waiting for. I was reading something the other day that said that there's going to be a lot of angry people after they see it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Daryl, he's gonna die."
Do you know how funny it's going to be if it just turns out to be just some random Alexandria?
Yeah.
It's not part of the main.
You're like looking, going, "Who's that?"
Is
Oh, that's that guy who was in the background in like
It's good.
episode 5
We'll put
last season.
We'll put our predictions out on the next one of who we think it's going to be. Are we doing one
Yes.
before the episodes because we want to do a
Yes.
recap? So we'll put out, because I want to talk about Carol. I want to talk about Carol's journey from beginning of season to end of season, because it is probably one of the most
best
It really is
character development, I think.
And it's such a
potentially.
development, and it's a very human and realistic development, and I really like that.
I think out of all of the characters with Carol, you see a real like laying open of her mental soul.
Yeah.
Don't you really? You get to see
That is
everything
such a
that's going
good way
on.
of describing it, because it was one of the ones that really got us, and I felt everything she felt. And I want to talk about Carol. I want to talk about Rick and Michonne. I'm not really bothered about the relationship.
No,
I could not give two
about that.
shits about that.
I kind of hate that.
I'm not really asked.
I'm kind of like...
If you want to know, it's not Michonne that he's with in the comics. It's actually Andrea. But Andrea's dead.
Andrea died in series 1, so
fuck that. But I don't want to talk the comics either, because we can talk about some comparisons, but
yeah.
I'm not even up to Negan in the fucking comics yet. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's one that I can quite easily put it down for some reason, but when I go back to it, I'm like, I'm gonna put this down.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So.
Right, so if you want to keep our conversation going, please hit us up in the comments below. How to find us is in the description. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more podcasts from Two Girls. So until next time, it's goodbye from us.
And it's goodbye from Portia, who's been actually remarkably naughty this evening, I have to say. She's been quite...
Love it.
Quite a little shit is how I would... She's been at us all week.
Let's end the podcast with Portia's being a little shit.
Yeah.
No. We're nearly at an hour, so let's just end this now. So goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.